Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently in overtime here, and we are going to look to get Britain pushed off of the continent. But the main problem here, of course, is infamy. We're gonna have to wait for our infamy to decay, and there's only so much that we can do there. But it is coming down at a reasonable rate here. So we've got this diplomatic mitigation, so that's reasonably fine. We're going to let that drop, and we are working on constructing some infrastructure. There's a lot of infrastructure coming in here, no doubt about that. That is a lot of relief. For 2 years, that's extremely expensive. Minus 25% infamy generation, though, that's very good. No doubt about that. The state will have to figure it out on their own. We just can't afford that. Corrientes is going to be a little rough for a little while. Hopefully we won't get a famine, but we'll see. So we're just working away on getting all of this infrastructure creation done. That is working fairly well. How much more railway do we need here? Okay, that's quite a lot of railway. So our overall amount of infrastructure queued here is 37.5 pages. That is certainly extensive. I don't want to increase our construction at this point. We're working on getting arc welding, and once we get that, our economy is going to be very struggling. No doubt about that. So I want to be running a surplus when possible right now. There's large numbers of Georgian people migrating from Russia. That's probably a good thing, because our number of unemployment has been definitely on the decline. So I want to check in here. We've got some transportation and electricity shortages and some lack of market access. Okay, that seems relatively fine for right now. As a backup question, we're number 2 militarily in the world now. Looks like Great Britain has vastly increased its number of battalions. It's up to 52k. Okay. So we're probably going to have to expand our own military to be able to match that. And that's understood. So we should probably get ourselves at least 3 additional armies. I think we are going to wait until after our infrastructure expansion to do that. I would like to get ourselves... What is the current economy of scale cap? 50? Okay. I'd like to get us some additional government administrations and ministries. We're going to get 10 of them. I want to be positive in our bureaucracy, not negative. Oh, I didn't queue it at the top? I thought I did. I queued plus 10, and I thought that I got all of that done, but apparently not. Okay. That's fine. So we're going to get these railways worked on. It's going to take some time to work through those constructions, but that is absolutely understood. These electricity shortages are going to continue for a while. We may want to consider moving up our power generation first, and then doing the railways at this point. I'm going to do it, but the government administrations we're going to want to have up above them even. So that'll be fine. Let's move up all of these power plants, because they are all going to be necessary, I think. Necessary eventually, anyway. And let's get those done. That's kind of the base level that we need here. So back up towards the front, we are looking for those government administrations now. Here we go. We're going to move those up to the top. And we're going to do something like this. So this is going to be a few pages of power plants, and we may alternate the... Actually, what we should do is we should go to Parana, Rio de Janeiro, Para, and Corrientes. Okay. So we should move up at least a couple of these. So Rio de Janeiro, we can move up any of these that were already being worked on, like that. Excellent. Anything in Para? Yes, there are a couple here, so let's move up 3. There we go. And then we've got Parana and Corrientes. Do we have any of those in here? Here's some Corrientes. 1, 2, 3. And then let's check in for Parana. I don't think there are any there. Okay, Let's take a quick look at what we've got going on in Piranha. Let's sort by state here and go down to here. There are 11 queued. Okay, so I must have missed them at some point. So we're going to go through this direction and just look for Piranha. There are 11 of them, so there should be a pretty decent number here. There we go. I'll move up 3 of those. Okay, so that looks good for now. And we're going to be working on these railways. We're going to be working on these government administrations, but then we're working on the power plants behind that. So we're just being a little bit more focused on what specifically we're angling to get done here. And that is absolutely fine. So we're very happy about that. And market access is going to be an issue as well. We'll get to that. For now, I just want to focus on these areas with transportation shortages. But the market access is definitely something that we'll need to get done. So these government administrations will be done in 2 weeks. That should get us a good amount of bureaucracy. We are dipping negative financially for right now. I expect that to be a temporary downturn. Okay, so the government administrations are going to cost us a little bit of money, and that is in their upkeep as well as in the excess state construction efficiency. So that is absolutely understood, but that will increase our speed of construction. So that looks good for now. Minus 14.1k is not so bad. Yeah, we're back positive now, but that might be a temporary thing. We'll keep an eye on that. Plus 20. Cool. So with that at plus 20 and the investment pool at plus 20, we could arguably expand our construction sector. I think that's a terrible idea because we do know that we have arc welding coming. So we should expand our economy before arc welding comes in. We should not increase our number of construction sectors at this time. So that sounds good. We have a bunch of these railways being worked on. We have some additional transportation and electricity shortages. These aren't shocking. We're going to be focused very heavily on building a lot, and I mean a lot, of infrastructure for a little bit here. So that sounds great. Let's check in on our market prices. Nothing too shocking here. That broadly looks okay. I'm not too concerned about that. We definitely have a temporary contraction in our GDP here, but this is a very temporary contraction. I'm not expecting this to be a long-term one. This is probably just due to our market access. So, Alto Paraguay. Well, actually, let's let these current railways finish up. Once these finish, we'll start working on the... Sure, the perpetrators will pay for their crimes. Once these are done, we'll start working on these market accesses. Some of these are, I think, going to be already included. Although maybe not. Maybe not. Interesting. So, market access in Cordoba. That's fine. We're going to look for Cordoba here. It's in here somewhere, I'm sure. Oh, I saw it. Cordoba here. I'm going to move up 1 because we're only at 95. So Alto Paraguay, that is the next location that we are looking for. That is probably in here somewhere. Presumably. If it's not in here, then that means that we need to go to it and we need to probably subsidize this railway. Plus 3, is this in the private construction queue? It might be. The private construction queue has some things, for sure. But I don't see it there. Okay, so it must be in our government construction queue somewhere. I wish there was a search function. That would be nice. No doubt about that. Okay, so specifically, we are looking for Alto Paraguay. Well, here it is. Let's move those straight on up. That looks good. And then Paraiba. Noted. I imagine I'm absolutely butchering these pronunciations, but... It's fine, I'm sure. So next up, we are looking for Paraiba here. I'm sure there are some in here. That's Piranha. Piaui. Did I miss it? There's one in Paraiba. Okay, we'll move that up. That'll be fine for now. That's at 99, so that's all we need. Next is Cajamarca. And where would that be, I wonder? It's probably in here somewhere. Here we go. How many are we going to need? Only the one, probably. So let's move that up for now. And then Santa Fe and Minas Gerais. Both of these are up over here. Estonian people are moving in. Great. So Minas Gerais, we can bring in, I'm going to do 3. And then over this way for, that was Santa Cruz? No. Apparently it's gone. Okay, sure. That seems fine. So large numbers of German people are moving in. I like it. We're now positive financially, and we've got a number of these railways finishing up, and these power plants are definitely in process. I like it. So we no longer have any Impuca's shortages of transportation. Noted. So now we have an electricity shortage in Piranha. We have this coming in right now. Okay. Actually, let's just leave this be for now. Let's let these railways finish, and we'll see what we end up getting out of these power plants. We're probably going to have to move some up, or at least move them around a little bit. So, Mendoza, huh? We're working on one right now. Corrientes. There might be one in here right now, or we can just move one up. There we go. Let's do that. And Buenos Aires. Sure, we can move one up. Tarapaca. I'm not sure if we're working on one in this list or not. The answer is no. In fact, we might not have them in the list at all. We do not. Okay. This just needs to hire people. Sure. It's not actually that big of an issue. Santiago, we should be fine, honestly. I think we're in a pretty good spot here as far as expanding our infrastructure goes. So our market access is improving. We have a transportation shortage in Minas Gerais, but we're already working on railways there. So this looks pretty decent, all things considered. Let's just get this expansion completed. We're 5 years away there, and we're at 19.3 infamy right now. So if we take a look at New Granada, we can see that their Liberty Desire is still going up, as of right now, by 0.07. So are we currently supporting their regime? We are. Okay. So cold relations, we are working on bringing up relations here. We're at minus 55. Students are rallying to enact Council Republic. Of course they are. They ought to focus on their studies. Cool. So we're at 50.9k surplus right now. We're using that to pay off our debt, and we know that we're going to have very large construction expenses once we finish arc welding. We're 5 months away on that. So I'm not going to expand our construction at this time. It's going to get rough. I want to be very, very clear about that. So we're going to complete what we can between now and then. We have electricity shortages in 5 locations, low market access in 4. I expect all of these market access issues to be solved fairly quickly here. And now we have an electricity shortage in 4 locations: Buenos Aires, Corrientes, Minas Gerais, and Santiago. Okay. So there's all those railways done for now. And we'll keep an eye on this situation. We're going to be building quite a number of power plants here. So it looks like we could use some additional market access in Bajo Paraguay and Cajamarca, but not much, to be honest. So let's see what we've got in here. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to move up 1. And where is Cajamarca in here? Oh, I saw it. I definitely saw it. I'm going to move up 1 there. Okay, so that looks good for now. We're going to bring this all the way back to page 1 again. Perfect. So we've got 5 years on this construction queue, in theory. And we can see an electricity shortage in Buenos Aires and Corrientes. Both of these should be solved very soon. And then we've got an electricity shortage in Santiago and Minas Gerais. Okay. So we can move up a Santiago and Minas Gerais power plant. I'm going to move 2 Minas Gerais power plants up. Do we have any queued up in Santiago right now? I'm not convinced that we do, actually. So let's hop in here. We'll go to power plants and sort by state. Santiago should be right up over here. Looks good. Now, we need to hire more people in, but I guess we can get an economy of scale out of it. Sure. Why not? That'll be fine for now. So let's get all of this finished up. How are we doing on our unemployment? Okay, number of peasants is going down. So we will soon have our economy saturated. That is definitely noted. A saturation of the economy is not necessarily ideal. Apparently the phone is ringing. I apologize for that. There we go. Hopefully that won't happen anymore. Fantastic. Next up, we are going to need to continue to build. Hang on. Let me put this thing on mute. That is definitely a thing that needs to happen here. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, I believe I press this button. Apparently they're calling back immediately. Perfect. This is definitely not ideal. Okay, there we go. I have muted the ringer. Fantastic. That is the work phone, and hopefully it's not anything too important, but we should be absolutely fine here. I'll give them a call back in a couple minutes when this episode is over. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so this power plant is going to finish up in Chaco. The real question is, how are we doing on everything else here? We've got some minor market access issues. People are migrating from Prussia, North Germans. Okay, that's fine. And we still have some electricity shortages ongoing here. We are about to get arc welding. So that is noted. Where are we at for taxes? Okay. Things could get spicy here when we go to arc welding. We'll see how that goes, but that is going to dramatically increase the amount of construction that we're doing. So, minus 100K from current, that's actually not too bad, if that's true. Let's bump that up, and let's see what weirdness that does to our economy. I'm sure there will be some. Next up, I want to do a military research here, and specifically, I'm thinking that we should go for maybe like concrete fortifications for that army defense. We could go for that. Alternatively, let's actually check in here again. Mobile armor. Okay, yeah, we could go for like flamethrowers, we could go for military aviation, chemical warfare. I'm not too interested in any of that necessarily. Minus 124K, okay. We can exploit the Amazon, and we should definitely do so. And we have no market good shortage at this moment. The real question is, what is this doing to our market price of things like steel and glass, and even electricity? You can see here, our construction basically doubled. Okay, so we're running a deficit of 227K at this moment. That is understood. So our economy definitely needs to grow into this. Hold on here. What do we got going on here? This is a revolt in New Granada. Okay, we're going to mobilize these guys. We're going to send them up to the front. I think we don't need any more than a single army to deal with this. To be honest, New Granada could probably deal with it on their own, but we're just going to head in and deal with that for them. Excellent. So the actual opinion of New Granada is currently cold. It actually dropped. That's noted. They are still going up by 0.02. Okay. Well, we're certainly going to work on that. Great Britain sided with Venezuela in the diplomatic play against the Venezuelan bourgeois revolt. Okay, so apparently northern South America is getting a whole lot of rebellions right now. That's noted. So we're at minus 362K. This is in part because we have this army mobilized, and that is absolutely understood. We're at 230.5 million right now, and we're working on constructing a crazy amount of power plants. So we've got an electricity shortage in a number of locations. The Brazilian steel combine is losing prosperity. This might just be due to the power costs. I'm guessing that's the case. We also currently have no Minas Gerais Electrics or Brazilian Fabrics prosperity. That's noted. We are working on dealing with the power issues. There's some market access issues, and electricity overall is expensive in the Brazilian market. Well, that won't be the case for too much longer. We are working on it. Cool. So we're working on Buenos Aires. Large numbers of North German people are migrating from Mecklenburg to Cordoba. I like it. We need all of the populace we can get. Our peasant numbers are dramatically dropping. So that's understood. We're almost through the Buenos Aires constructions already, and we're on the Bajo Paraguay ones. In fact, there's not that many more power plants in here. In fact, we are working on every power plant that is queued. So that's noted. We're going to start working on some of these railways again as well, which many of those are in progress. I like it. Also, I just had the thought, what if things like this, where you have progress, but you're not working on it? What if it slowly decayed away? The progress, I mean. That would be very interesting. That would be a fairly realistic mechanic, because that is definitely how things actually work. But also, it would be strategically interesting, because it would mean that you really didn't want to abandon projects partway through. That'd be very interesting strategically. Well, we're going to crush this rebellion with no actual problem. This is not going to be an issue at all. What is a bit of an issue is our deficit, but our GDP is going to continue to explode here, and that sounds absolutely fine. So this war broke out. We're just going to completely crush them. No problem whatsoever. What is this? Little by little? We'll make Brazilians of them yet. Excellent. So we're going to finish up all of these power plants in Bajo Paraguay very, very shortly. And there's a transportation shortage in Maranhão at this point. Noted. Mana War's input goods shortage as well. For the moment, I'm just going to leave this be. We're focused on building infrastructure, and our private construction here is, in theory, working on building that sort of thing. We'll see if that ends up being the case. I'm sure the trade unions cannot be trusted. It'll be fine. Excellent. So we're nearly done with these power plants at this point. This war is turbo over. Like, there's no way that this is going to be a thing. That looks great. How are we doing in this election? Brazilian integralist action is actually maybe a bit of a threat, but we can probably combine together the Communist Party and the Brazilian integralist action into one coalition, and it should be fine. I think that'll be okay. There's a lot of people that are going to want Council Republic. They're going to want us to commit to something here. So we'll see how real that ends up being. For the time being, I'm quite happy with the way that this is going. Can they be dropped below 0? Yes, they can. And that sounds perfect. So they capitulated, and that war is now over. Perfect. So New Granada is now going up by 0.07 again. Okay, 0.06. High Liberty Desire is definitely scaling that. Clout of political lobby interest groups in government, huh? Well, mostly it's cold relations. We need to continue to work on that. Ballot or bullet, huh? Actually, workers' power will be achieved through a Communist Party parliament, for sure. Get experience early, huh? Don't listen to him, kids. Off to school. Cool. So that'll be fine. And the question is, do we want to integrate Bolivia? 22.5 infamy here. They only have a 25% chance of acceptance. Interesting. We should probably work on improving relations with them. So let's come into here and improve relations with Bolivia. There we go. So that'll start coming up, and that should increase our odds of being able to integrate them. Looks excellent. So at this point, we have almost all of our power plants completed. We might need to do another round of power generation, though. That's, I think, fairly likely. Yeah, that's pretty likely indeed. We're also going to need a railway, and that is going to need to be here. We have 6 in the queue. Okay. We should definitely move those up in the queue. There they were. I'm moving up 2. Okay, so that should be fine for now. We'll deal with this transportation shortage. As far as the electricity issue goes, we're going to need to have more electricity construction. I think that's very, very clear. So we have 2 power plants going into Amazonas. Understood. Brazilian integralist action is going to get all of that. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all. But okay, we'll proceed. It is, however, about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to build a bunch of infrastructure here. We've still got work to do on our electricity situation, as well as some market access issues. And that will all get handled very quickly. But our GDP is definitely doing pretty well at this point. We need to expand our economy because we are not making enough to finance our arc welding, which is not surprising. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.